Welcome to GoldSilver.com Radio. My name is Victor Huerta. Today I have a very special guest. He is the president of a very interesting association in Mexico called the Mexican Civic Association Pro-Silver, which has been focusing over the past 15 years on reintroducing silver into the Mexican economy. We are very pleased to welcome Mr. Hugo Salinas Price. Welcome, Mr. Salinas.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here.
Thanks to your work, many in Mexico are now supporting a reintroduction of silver coinage into your monetary system. Today, here in the US, many states like Utah are enacting legislation to give citizens the option to use silver and gold coinage in transactions. Do you believe this trend will continue, and who will finally win this battle of the ages?
Well, I do think the trend will continue, but the pressure really must be exerted at the federal level. Because I think what Americans need, or people in the United States need, is a silver coin that can be used as money and can be deposited in banks and can be used for any purpose whatsoever. Whereas if you only have one state doing this, I think it presents weaknesses. I praise the effort, and I praise the desire to do something that is behind those efforts in the various states of the United States, but the pressure really must be exerted at the federal level. At the state level, it's very difficult because it's very hard. You'd have to have a situation where a state practically would have to secede from the Union, and no state is going to do that. In order to have its own money or have the silver money, it would have to practically secede from the United States. That's why I do not think that those efforts will bear fruit. But I do think people should save silver, and I praise their efforts to do something. But I do think that the effort should be directed toward the federal level.
Very true. We agree on that. You have witnessed two currency crises in Mexico back in 1994 and 1982. What would you encourage people to do now to prepare themselves in case of a currency crisis?
Well, I think the whole world is falling apart. It's not just the United States. It's a whole world that is on this drug that it's a dream-inducing drug. It's a drug that makes people dream, fiat money. And people the world over are really in a state of dreaming, because fiat money makes people believe that there's more wealth than there really is. And this makes for spending that is not prudent, because there is not the amount of wealth that people are led to believe. And so they're making great mistakes, and there's going to be a lot of pain coming from this. The whole world is sinking into a sea of paper, and this is not going to end happily. It's going to end very, very badly unless it's corrected. And I've been trying to do something, but what can one person do except point out and what lies ahead? It's rather a very, very tragic situation, really, where people are not aware that the money they are using is completely baseless and just numbers. It has no substance. So the world is on the worst of all possible drugs, fiat money, and this is destroying the world. Slowly but surely, it is undermining everything, and things seem to be going on from day to day, but every day it gets a little worse. And one day the dam is going to break, and it's going to be all hell breaks loose all over the world. That's what I see. Unfortunately, it's not a very pleasant vision. Now, one thing I must say, saving gold and saving silver is a defensive measure. It's not a productive measure. Ideally, we should all be using gold and silver as money and using it to further production, so that there is more production and more things to buy and lower prices. As more things come into the market, prices would be going down and people would have a better life with the same amount of silver and gold. But since we don't have gold and silver as money, we can only take a defensive measure, and that measure is stashing it away and hoarding it as a protection against further problems later on. This is not the best scenario, but if as long as we're not given good money, that is what all civilizations have done before us. Gold and silver go into hiding, and that's happened before. This is not the first time. But why did it happen? Because the governments debased the money. They made the money worthless little by little, and the same thing is happening today. So that's the only thing we can do, is to take protective measures. We don't want collapse, but if the collapse is coming, we better prepare for it.
That's true. And Mr. Salinas, one last question. Many of our listeners have never experienced a currency crisis. Do you believe investors today are unaware that first world devaluations are a very real threat?
Yes, certainly. Certainly they're coming. Most certainly. There are no strong currencies anymore. If you don't see them change with regard to each other, it's because they're all going down more or less at the same time. When you see governments saying that they're going to save the financial system by creating trillions of euros or trillions of dollars, you know something is very, very wrong. Very wrong. And the United States is headed for a tremendous shock, because most people are not aware of what's going on until it's too late, and then I think there's going to be a great amount of disturbance in the United States.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Salinas. It was a real pleasure talking to you.
I'm sorry I couldn't be more positive.
Thank you very much.
Good luck and God bless.
And this is Victor Huerta reminding you, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. Thank you very much. Have a great day.